What's up? Welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of Hacks Season 3. Comedy series is back on Max. First 2 episodes out now. 9-episode season airing 2 episodes each week through the month of May. And Hacks, it's been a few years since it was on the air, but one of the most celebrated and strongest comedy series of the past few years. Hacks, getting a lot of Emmy love. Gene Smart, of course, the star, winning twice for the show already. Smart and her co-star Hannah Einbinder really carry the show, and it's been, I think, one of those both feel-good comedies, but also just a real fun vibes like Hang show, just kind of carried off the dynamic between its two leads. Hack Season 3 impressed me in its return because rather than kind of rest on its laurels or run back old dynamics, the show is continuing to do new things. The end of Season 2, we had Deborah and Ava separating, but now they're coming back together in Season 3, as we knew they would. The core dynamic is so central to the show's success, but now having Deborah trying to fulfill her longtime dream that had been deferred, of course, her being the host of a late-night TV show, very tantalizing, I think, for this show continuing to exist and push forward. Deborah going from being a hack and a has-been to now the most in-demand and popular comic, and how that makes her feel as people are so willing to laugh at her jokes. It's an interesting place to take this show. And when you have as strong chemistry between your two lead characters as you do with Einbinder and Smart, it just really works. But I'm really happy that Hacks is continuing to push forward with the plot and character development on this series. I think it's a really engaging comedy. The first episode, I think, had a really fun kind of sight gags, like this walk and talk through Vegas. You hear ELO's Evil Woman playing, and then the woman turns around and it's not actually Deborah, and we're seeing the Deborah Van slot machines being unveiled. It was a fun little fake out there. I'm really curious about spending time with Deborah now that she's sensing the lack of challenge and getting people to laugh at what she does now that she's so in demand following the special that was so successful. Of course, a special that Ava and Deborah concocted, throughout Season 2. The closet warehouse where she has all her clothes was funny, but then the whole dynamic about the yellow dress that Deborah liked, but everyone else was too afraid to tell her how they really felt about it. Again, kind of reinforcing this point about where Deborah is. Having Ava and Deborah come back together, as we knew they would. This is not a show that would exist with them too separated for too long. That dynamic being changed again, where the relationship, Ava and her girlfriend, that fracturing because of how toxic and dependent and challenging Ava seems to be in the service of Deborah. And there's obviously a lot of meat on that bone, a lot more to spend time with. I think that's clear. The character drama on this show is something that continues to develop and stew as we progress through each season. But the comedy, I think, the moment-to-moment comedy still offers a lot of humor. It's not like the laugh per minute type comedy per se, but there's plenty of things to laugh at, I think. I mean, episode 2, we had Ligma and Bofa jokes. I didn't expect to see those on a mainstream comedy series. That was great. The whole bit about unauthorized Etsy sellers and then them being brought into the Deborah Vance fold officially so that Deborah can have a piece, but also expand her empire, so to speak. That was pretty clever. But yeah, I think the end of the second episode, watching Deborah guest host the late night series and just absolutely just kill it, really cool, right? Because I think the Deborah Vance comedy character makes a lot of sense and it's really fun to watch her crush. It's kind of similar to how Midge on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel would act, where it's a show where you're not exactly laughing at all the jokes on stage, all the stand-up as a viewer of the show, but yet you're really feeling the momentum of that character performing and believing it, if that makes sense. Ultimately, Hacks is just a show I have a lot of confidence in. I don't even watch that many comedies, but I think there's enough drama here. There's enough fun with the supporting characters. The people working in and around Deborah's circle really is the rest of the cast. They're certainly second fiddle to Ava and Deborah, but I think the performances are fun enough to spend time with. But more than anything, again, that core duo, the acting performances and the chemistry is there, but then I think the character development and the actual substance to the narratives make a lot of sense and make it a compelling series to revisit. Even if the in the moment comedy feels pretty light, there's enough dramatic weight to keep you invested. And again, I applaud Hacks for continuing to try and push the show forward and not just kind of run back previous dynamics from the first 2 seasons. So I have a lot of high hopes for where season 3 will take us. But let me know, how did you feel about Hacks season 3, the premiere? Are you excited about the show's return? And for more TV reviews, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.